Although some cities and towns surrendered at once, others saw fanatical last stands in the rubble of bombed-out factories and streets. Although it took 18 American divisions nearly 3 weeks to end all resistance, the outcome of the Ruhr battle was never in doubt. All the same, the scale of the victory astonished Allied commanders. When German resistance finally petered out on April the 18th, 317,000 German prisoners were taken, including 25 generals and an admiral, more prisoners than in the mass surrenders at Stalingrad or Tunisia. Pockets of resistance, some of them strong and determined, would be met by Allied forces until the very end. But nothing could now prevent the Allies from sweeping through the German interior. As the Allied advance raced through Germany, it rapidly approached the Russians, who were themselves now closing in on the River Elbe. There was a real chance of accidental clashes between forward units. To reduce the risk, the Americans and Russians exchanged liaison officers and special recognition signals were devised. Finally, on the 25th of April 1945, Red Army and Western forces met near Torgau on the Elbe, as units of the 5th Soviet Guards Army and the 69th Division of the 1st American Army made contact. Germany had been cut in half. While the Western Allies were eliminating the final pockets of German resistance on their side of the River Elbe, the Russians began the assault on Berlin. Inside the city, Hitler and a handful of followers sheltered in a bunker deep beneath the Reichschancellery, while Berlin was turned to rubble over their heads, and surviving German units resisted fanatically to the end. By the time the city surrendered on May the 2nd, 300,000 Russians and an unknown number of Germans were dead in the ruins. Two days before the fall of Berlin, Adolf Hitler had committed suicide in his bunker. However, although the Führer was gone, German resistance continued. Knowing of the grim fate that awaited them at the hands of the Russians, many German units were determined to fight their way west and surrender to American or British forces. To buy time for units in the east to escape, German formations in the west kept fighting for long after they would otherwise have given up. On May the 4th, German forces in Northern Europe surrendered unconditionally to Field Marshal Montgomery, and 3 days later, the remaining German forces in the West surrendered to Eisenhower's staff. On that day, Eisenhower announced that the mission of the Allied forces was complete. Nazi Germany had been utterly destroyed, and after nearly 6 long and bitter years, the war in Europe was over.